Let's do some late round guys, and I'll
I
give you
love the
three
late round
names.
gems
Yeah.
field. Yep.
Let me give you three. And I don't know how late these guys are, Mel, because I like them so much that I keep feeling like, hey, maybe these guys could slide up the board. But let's start here with Luke McCaffrey. Rice, wide receiver. You could win a nickel at your bar trivia night down there in Maryland, Mel, with this stat. Luke McCaffrey tied Rome Odunze for the most contested catches in all of FBS last season. Each of them had 24. You would not expect that from a kid who's been playing the position for 2 seasons. That's right, 2 seasons for Luke McCaffrey playing wide receiver at Rice. He began his career as a quarterback at Arizona. Yes, he is the younger brother of Christian McCaffrey, and you can imagine the athletic pedigree in that entire family. His parents, Ed and Lisa, are world-class athletes in their own right, or at least were during their athletic days. The apple does not fall far from the tree here for Luke McCaffrey. And Mel, for a guy that's still kind of learning the position, impressed me with not just the contested catch stuff. The toughness certainly showed up. The sort of understanding of how to become a better route runner has certainly shown up. The hands in general showed up to me. It's still a work in progress, right? Like it's still going to look like a guy who is green at the wide receiver position, but for a heck of an athlete, for a guy that I think maybe it takes him a year to get there, but a day 3 pick would be exactly the kind of value I'd be targeting in Luke McCaffrey.
You get your natural catching the football, and it's amazing. Yeah. We remember a quarterback, wide receiver. We've seen that change before, happen a lot over the years, 60s, 70s, even 80s. We saw that. And for Luke McCaffrey, the bloodlines, the natural ability that you've seen, the fact that he stepped up when he had to, and there was pressure on him. Obviously, when you have that McCaffrey name, all eyes are on you. So he's dealt with that and the expectations, changed positions, and now developed into a guy that is we're going to be talking about him in Detroit on day 3. There's no question about that.
Yeah. Can't wait to see him here. And this one I think you'd be proud of. Maybe the next two you'd be proud of here, Mel, because I know you love your deep cuts here. Keelan Robinson, running back return specialist from Texas, who barely saw the football. Now, in his defense, they had Jonathan Brooks at running back, and they had A.D. Mitchell, and they had Xavier Worthy, and they had Jordan Whittington, and they had Jatavian Sanders in the passing game. There are a lot of mouths to feed. And just a year ago, of course, they had 2 running backs taken in the first 4 rounds. Roschon Johnson, after, of course, Bijan goes 8th overall. So there's been a lot of guys ahead of Keelan Robinson. But if you were looking for microwavable offense, big plays, Keelan Robinson, both as a running back and a receiver, and on top of that, as a return man, Mel, you could have me convinced he could end up being an incredible late round value. What do you think?
Hey, when you're as fast as he is and you have that versatility field and you can help a team in a way other than just being a guy that has to be out there, a special teams return game. Yeah, you can't teach your coach what he brings in terms of that ability to change a game with the ball in his hands. He'll find a way on the field. They'll find a way to get him the football on the offensive side. But certainly now you're talking about in the late rounds when you get a kid in who has that is the word dangerous when he's on the field in any capacity field. I'm with you on that.
All right, fear factor player on day 3. And this guy, not a fear factor player because he plays left tackle, Mel. Maybe a guard at the NFL level. But I don't know how many Louisiana Ragin' Cajun players that don't really play much earlier in their career end up being drafted in the NFL. But I think Nate Thomas, big Nathan Thomas, left tackle most recently, but could be a guard at the next level, has me intrigued. Big, physical, nasty player. And when I'm on day 3, Mel, and I'm trying to decide the positions that I want to take a swing at, because the truth of day 3 in the NFL draft is while we are looking for the diamonds in the rough, we also acknowledge that it's not like a lock for a 6th or 7th round pick to even make his own team. As a result of that, if I'm an NFL team, I'm taking swings at high value positions, right? Offensive linemen, which as we know are now amongst the highest paid players in the entire NFL. Nathan Thomas has me intrigued.
You said the word, and I agree with it. Nasty. You better be. When you're coming from college to the NFL, Louisiana Lafayette to the NFL, you better have that. And I've talked to some coaches, I've talked to personnel people, and that's the first thing they say is that. That's why I like Zach Zinter. That's kind of the common denominator with a lot of players we like in the draft. You better have that unless you're just a superior athlete, but you better have some of that in you. I think offensive line coaches certainly want that ability. You talk about a late round pick, which is what he is. That's a key attribute that you better have, and he does. So I'm with you. I think that's a good call. And some guys on day 3 are going to be fun to see when they come off the board.
Yeah, one last thought on day three guys, especially guys that we project on like the sixth or seventh round level, Mel, is that I feel like it's important that they just have a signature trait in general, right? Like, I don't think that many guys that just do like a lot of things pretty well as sixth or seventh round picks end up becoming megastars. I think instead it's the guys who like it's the super fast wide receiver or running back. It's the physical, powerful offensive tackle. It's whatever it might be. It's the linebacker, off-ball linebacker who has a knack for blitzing or something like that that end up becoming useful players at the NFL level.